Hello! I don't think there's anyone watching. I'm sure someone will start watching in a minute, so we'll tiddle along. And people will make themselves known. As and when. Wow. Fast. What's the story? White Sapphire is in the house. Yes, we'll give it a minute till a few more people pop along for the old live stream on a Sunday. Am I getting out okay? I am being heard, I should hope. A few people tuning in here now. We've got Patrick B. Audio Al. The big beast in the bench. We'll get to that in a minute. Al. We'll see. Sound is loud and clear. That's what we like to hear. It'll be interesting to see how many people pop in tonight to see us on the live. We won't be on too late tonight. Just so you know, we'll be looking to knock off maybe 9:30. 10 o'clock at the very latest. We have an early start in the morning. Yes. We've Patrick Bree. Greetings from the Netherlands. Ye Netherlandie. Super. Yes. I don't know if you've watched my live stream before, Patrick, or if you're new to the channel. I'm not sure if Patrick B is a name I recognise, but sometimes people change their usernames on YouTube, so I don't be sure. I'm new, says Patrick. Super duper. Well, then Patrick won't be aware that I was actually born in the Netherlands, and I was born in Amsterdam. We have Rich Lips here. I think Rich Lips has been in the chat before. Croydon, which is in London, the outskirts of London, isn't it? And we have Apex McBoob from Canada. So, yes, a few people tuning in from all over the place. Super duper. I underscore is in the chat too. I went to a place called Thornton Heath once, which isn't a million miles away from another place called Collier's Wood. Anyway, in Thornton Heath, we were picking up bus parts in the garage that was closing down. And one of the mechanics recommended that we staple rashers to the front of the truck so we could get up the high street. Yes. We've 12 people watching with 3 thumbs up now, or 4 thumbs up. Mr. Mooney will be along shortly, and he assures me he wants to say many, many thumbs up tonight. So I'm swinging wildly on my chair. My chair, which is, by the way, about to collapse. I need a new chair. It's not good. She's about to give way. The thing on the bench, we'll get to that in a minute. I've said that a couple of times already. It's nothing too special. You probably can't see it all that well on the camera from where you are, though. It's something we have plenty of, although it's something a bit different as well. Thornton Heath, says Rich Lips. He looks concerned. Thornton Heath. Yes. Indeed. 14 watching, 15 watching. Let's see. Did they nick the wheels? No. They were all very friendly to us. It was one of the lower class garages I've been in, though, if you know what I mean. The conditions were poor, alright. Richard 100 is here as well. We've got Sid, EI3, IEB. He says the bench cleanup is going well. He says, well, the bench cleanup is going well, except for there's a television plugged on it. But that's what the bench is for. That's what the bench is for. I also had my 75 watt iron out the other night. Hang that back. That's something that doesn't see a whole lot of use. But, when you need it, you need it. Handy for the old chassis work and that. 13 watching with 8 thumbs up. Come on. The numbers are dying off. This is ungood for the start of a live stream. Let's see who else tunes in now and we get going. Get going. What are you going to do? I don't know. We'll do something. It's raining. No, that. And the rain is falling quite heavily on the roof of the shed tonight. Right. Let's get going. So, Kevy B asked, and also Audio Al also inquired about the television set which finds itself upon the bench, which is a Murphy Acoustic Deluxe with the A640 chassis fitted, which we picked up recently for a small price. Small enough price that we didn't mind if it was any good or not. But yeah, some people are debating this should be restored. Other people, I don't know, including me, aren't so keen because quite a bit of work in it. The cabinet is in quite a state, and it has not been stored well. You know, we sort of took a chance on it. You know, if it has a good tube, that's fair enough. You know, for the scrap set, we paid a reasonable price. Good tuner in it. Maybe the line output transformer will be okay. We don't know. It'd be nice if it was. As I say, we're not going to get overly excited about it. And we're not going to do a whole lot with it yet. It's just a gentleman on one of the forums asked me, could I take a picture of the inside of a forum because he wanted to see the cable arrangement for the system switch. So I took a picture of that and put it up for him. He's currently restoring one of these. There's actually quite a few of these knocking around. I don't think they're as rare as people are led to believe. Cat B says, is that the ones on the is that the one with the controls on one side and the speaker on the other? No, the controls are on the top. I'll bring the camera over if it'll probably won't reach. Controls are on the top here. Here's the buttons, on off switch. And it has a larger than normal speaker in it. Maybe that's the Acoustic Deluxe. I don't think there's anything else special about the output stage or anything. It was more that they were in a funky cabinet. So they came in a variety of colours. Revolution red, outrageous orange, I think. Serene green. Subdued black. And they're all these weird names. Yeah. So they are a bit of a collector's item. Only this one is delaminating quite badly. touch of woodworm in it, not that bad. And then the top anodized strip with the writing and the name and that on it is in fairly poor fettle too. So, to be honest, I'm not all that keen on it. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to get put into a corner anyway. I'm not going anywhere near it. I might try and power it up. Put the bench power supply in the line output transformer for a few days and dry it out. And we might try and power it up. One of the odd things, and maybe someone watching tonight will know, but I don't know, is that it has a couple of Granada branded valves inside it. So I wonder, did Granada actually rent these at some stage, or did someone liberate the valves out of Granada? The line output valve, for example, which has gone to wear, sadly. If I can get it out, I won't be putting it back in. Come on. You can just see the makings of the Granada television logo. Might focus in if it doesn't see me face. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, you can see the logo there. Come on, focus. Focus, you bastard. No. There you go. A rank Bush Murphy, a white one. Oh. Yeah. Well, I think this is orange. Looks orange. Outrageous orange. So, yeah, the cabinet, I don't know. It could be done alright if you're excited about it. And I suppose the thing is that you'd be painting it. You wouldn't be trying to get a polished finish on timber. So it's possible. As I say, not too keen. Did it fall or was it pushed? I think it might have been a bit of both. Someone's been at it with super glue as well at some stage. The speaker baffles are delaminating as well, so they need to be tidied up. Yeah, it's been knocked around a bit, alright. So, yeah, it could be done. Now, the thing is, on eBay, if you are very keen and you really did want one of these, there's a gutted cabinet on eBay at the minute, but I think the man is looking for too much. I haven't actually seen the listing myself, but I've read of people talking about it. And there's an empty cabinet for one of these on eBay in good nick. So if you're really, really keen, you could have one. But at the end of the day, it's just a Bush A640 in a snazzier cabinet. So there you are. That's what that is. Kev Bacon sounds to a lack of enthusiasm. Well, when you actually look at the chassis up close, like I am here now, not 3 foot away from a little camera down the YouTube pipe, you would sort of lose a bit of enthusiasm for it. It's clearly being somewhere very damp. Just the chassis is fairly rusted. I have a feeling it's lived in a shed with no roof for 30 or 40 years. So, yeah, I'm not all that keen. Don't know how good the tube is either. But the tube has been replaced at some stage. It has an oddball label on it. It's not an original. Could be a re-gun. So, could be okay. Could be okay. But anyway, does anyone know if Granada actually rented these or not? I'd be interested to find out. But yeah, that's the Bush. So I'll put it up on the bench just to take a couple of snaps for someone. Well, you could use the cabinet for firewood. I don't even think it'll burn. Yeah. It's not that bad. It's hard to know. It's not that bad. If you went that, see, the thing to do would be you'd have to strip it all out to the bare cabinet and then have a good assessment of what you've got. Thing is, for where the veneer has come off and that, you can use car filler, body filler, because as I say, you're going to be painting it anyway. But yeah, we'll see. I'd be worried a bit about the lapses white sapphire. To be honest, I don't think the line output transformer killed that line output valve. I think it's because it was in a damp shed. Because what happens is, if you store valves out in a cold shed, damp shed, or even an attic, be warned, you will get this will happen. So if you look at the pins on this valve again, let's see if we get our sheet of paper here. It will focus. If it doesn't see anything else, it seems to be able to focus. And it wants to. Come on. Pain in the hole sometimes, this camera too. There we go. So if you look closely, you will see green shit around the base of the pins. And this is what happens. And you will see that it is cracked across 2 pins. So the theory is that dampness creeps in between the seal between the metal pin and the glass. And then if it freezes, if the shed is subjected to severe cold, obviously that small amount of moisture will expand. And they reckon that's what cracks the glass on them. And I'm seeing this with valves that have been stored poorly. And it's becoming more common. So I have a feeling that's what killed the valve. More so now, it's quite possible the line output transformer had a wobbler too. These were well known for when they were current. They were well known for line output transformer troubles. And Bush were well aware of this. And the replacements were fairly cheap as a result. But they're not so cheap now. Line output transformers are something that's thin on the ground for such things now. And this is a Plessy one, so it has the overwind is in a white plastic encapsulation. But they dry out the same with the bench power supply method, which we've gone into before on previous videos. So that's the A640 chassis Murphy Acoustic Deluxe. Rather dirty, rather rusty, not great. But I gave 30 quid for it, which was a fair price. If you needed the tube or whatever, yeah, reasonable. Patrick Bourne is here as well. Good evening, Patrick. Raining quite badly here now, bouncing off the roof of the shed. Now, of today's finds, we found something in a skip today. We can never go by a skip without looking. I mean, myself and Mrs. Aldridge were out driving around and I seen a skip. So I duly pulled in the car and had a squint. And I found this item. Its exact purpose I'm unsure of at the moment, but I'm sure one of you bright folks won't be long about enlightening me. I have a rough idea of what this is for, but give you a look at this. Cable converter. What ye all make of that? I think I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure what it's for. To VHF, aerial input, to UHF, aerial socket. So is it for splitting? Is it a splitter? Band shifting box? Yeah, we had them in Ireland, alright. Like transverters from VHF to UHF, or UHF only sets. Because we had VHF here. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. I should look it up. I'm sure there's some reference to it. And it's interesting that it's branded Thornberg Electronics, which of course was our famous Irish TV parts distributor. So, we've 22 watching now, so we're getting going. Let's see who we have in the live chat. Let's see, chat participants. Papo and Kev Bay, Roundy Mounty. You're late. You're gonna get that sack, Roundy. Roundy even missed all the good stuff. That is massive. Dear Jesus, Rich Clips. I was not expecting that. Thank you very much, Rich. That means an awful lot. My God. I'm speechless at that. That's very kind of you, sir. Well, I'm very happy that you're enjoying the channel, sir. Super. That's unbelievable. Good man, Rich. Fair play to you. That's class. That's class. That's going to buy me a few parts, all right? Deadly. Thank you, sir. Those little donations go a long way here, I needn't tell you. That means an awful lot. Class. Who else have we got here? Underscore is here. Underscore is here. Well, tell me, Rich, did you ever work on these Acoustic Deluxe television sets? I'm sure if you're in the TV game, you worked on many Bush A640s anyway. Yeah. Mounty missed all that about this fancy television on the bench, which I feel like putting me built through. I should also tell you that I sorted out, you might remember from last year, I bought a diesel heater for the shed. Well, I finally got around to doing a half-permanent install of it there during the week. And it's a whole self-contained unit because I have a battery powering it with a little solar panel on the roof. So it's all self-contained. So even if we have a power cut, I'll still have heat in the shed. House will be cold, but we'll have heat in the shed. So it's on there. I'm actually going to turn it off now because it's after getting quite warm in here. Yeah, so we're warm here as well. Mostly solid state, really, says Rich. That's what he was working on. So he missed all this nonsense, or the most of it. Ah, if only I had the time to do all the things I want to do. Because I'm looking here at loads of stuff that I want to get on the bench. But I just haven't got the time at the minute between one thing and another. But we will. We will. And we're working towards it. We'll get there. So the live stream seems to be going from strength to strength, by the way, and I'm glad that you're all enjoying it. As we discussed last week, things are going very well with the live streams. Because sometimes I did wonder whether it was worth me while doing them, but I think it is. Especially if you out there get as much crack out as I do. Now, Triode Hexode rolls in with, now is that my favourite RBM dual standard chassis that gives pin sharp pictures? If you're discussing the A640 chassis or TV161 variants, it certainly is. It is indeed, yeah. No, it's getting fresh, alright. You've the heating on in the house too for a few hours there. A couple of evenings during the week. Audio loves the live stream. Rich Lip says Sony, Philips, most brands through the 80s, and plenty of G11s, G8s, and also Sony broadcast monitors. Oh yeah, those little monitors that they all go mad for now. All your retro gamers absolutely love them. Serious money they're turning hands for now. Serious money, unbelievable. So, Rich Clips, I would say, Rich, that you're sort of the same generation as Michael Dranfield. Then G11s and G8s and all that kind of stuff would have been his bread and butter. Fire 64 says Decca. Decca. Yeah, he certainly. Yeah, Rich says he agrees. He's in the same bracket as Michael Dranfield. Whereabouts in England are you, Rich? Maybe we get you up to Michael Dranfield's gaff at some stage. Michael actually had a fan drop into him there one day. He was telling me about it. And chap travelled halfway across the country to go and see him. It's worth a great show, says Rich. Thanks very much. That's Richard 100. Yes. I'd love to see Mr. D, says Roundy Bounty. I'll tell you, I think Mr. D, or Dr. D, we could nearly call him, I think he should open it up as a museum and give guided tours to like-minded television engineers and enthusiasts. Much the way railway enthusiasts go to preserved railways and so on, you could have Michael Dranfield's shop as a preserved television shop where all the gobbers can go and visit him. Yeah, I think it'd be good, all right. It's unreal, Lodge. It's unreal. I haven't seen it first hand. And Kev B went to his place as well to drop off a couple of televisions for me, which he collected for me, which I could then collect from Michael Dranfield's place when I was over there. Complicated, but yes, Kev B was there. So he knows what I'm talking about. You could spend days in there. It's huge. Huge. Full of interesting stuff. And what he doesn't show you is the loft, which is the same size. He hasn't let me in the loft. He's afraid to show me what's up there. We could bring him round for... We could bring him out for an Indian. We could, yeah. Oh, stop. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful. No. Yeah, he could certainly could. He could open up some sort of an attraction there, all right. I think he'd do quite well. Rich says, I'm 50, but started when I was about 14. I first when I repaired an ITT CVC5 hybrid. BC337, yeah, and on the neck board. Some other faults, and he loved the spring-off resistors. Oh, brilliant. I have a CVC9 here. Actually, I have two. Yeah, I have two CVC9s of a 26-inch, which I really must get back to. I got it going. Got it off a chap on the UK Vintage Radio Forum, and the chassis was cracked. The board was cracked. No, I don't think it was cracked on here. I think it got cracked on its way, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it was switched on, it came up, and it was all blue and shit. And so Many joint tracks later, we got it going, but I never finished it off, and I would have liked to have put it into daily service for a while. So that was the 26-inch. Then, Glenn Dickinson, who was a television shop in Wales, gave me a 20-inch CVC 9. But it has an IF fault on it, so blank raster. Never got round to that. Just got it on the bench, powered it up. Yeah, tubes are right, laps are right. Put it away for another day. But the 20 inches, it's a nice little compact set, and it's a hybrid, and it's sort of a quirky one. So I'd like to get it going at some stage. Wait, hold on. Far64 says, my mum worked in the rank factory. I had loads of free stuff. I like the sound of that. I see her ma coming home with her penny pockets full of caps and resistors and stuff. Audiowal says his mother worked in the Bush factory in Santry, Shanawan Road, of course. She didn't last a day. Oh no. As she was putting the components in the wrong place on the boards out there. Yeah. That's good, alright. Oh, great stuff. That's unbelievable. Oh. Board solar 1970s. Oh yeah. All the good stuff. Bloody rain on the roof. Let's see. Who we got? Live participants in the chat now. Participants at the moment are Audiowal, Far64, Kevy B, Richie100, Rich Clips, and the Roundy Mounty. Oh, wonderful. I'm sure White Sapphire is in there somewhere too, which he's probably hiding. Or feeding cats. Rich Clips says, I've just bought an ITT Featherlight 15. Beautiful condition, but it's a tad deaf. Need to get it back on the bench. Richard 100 says, can anyone remember buying off the pile TVs for £5? Working TVs 20. No, but I often look through my old editions of television magazine and wish I had a time machine. Dual standard colours, £5 each. This is 1979. Just take them away. G6s. GEC 2022 or whatever it was. For the bin. Tritel and Leeds, yeah. The big huge ad in the television magazine I was looking at today for them. I think it was November 79. I don't hide, but I'm having my supper. Oh, that's fair enough. You had to eat your dinner too. Definitely. Roundy Mooney says, let's get this white coat lunatic up the YouTube charts. But funny enough, it has been growing. Getting a few subscribers. We're only kicking the bollocks away from 3,000. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Now, of course, it's fair to say that I took my foot off the gas for a while. But we're slowly getting back into the thing. Between one thing or another, I just didn't have the time to be doing this. But it's coming around again. Yeah, it's grown. It's certainly grown. I mean, even in the last week, I think I've got maybe 10 or 12 subscribers in the last week. Now we used to be more. I think on average, at the height, say this time last year, a bit earlier, I was sort of doing maybe 60, 70 subscribers a month. That has died down a bit to about 40 or 50. But obviously, I've not been putting out the amount of content that I was, because at one stage I was doing 3 or 4 videos a week. But I just ain't got the time for that at the minute. But I do have lots of interesting shit that I want to make videos on. Lots of interesting shit. Very interesting. Super interesting. More interesting than this chunk of shite on the bench. But yeah, we'll get there. What am I going to do with that grunting television that's sitting there looking at me? I have to see about that. Yeah, no, we're getting up there, all right. Kev B says, I spy a socket tester plugged into the bench. Hopefully you're not having supply problems. Can you see how many LEDs are lit? I'm just going to plug this out. Yeah, little problem, but nothing too major. Grundig tripler. Has a tripler already. Has. It's a wonderful neck. I don't know what to do with it. I must turn that off. This is the Rekitus wideband receiver I did a video on some time ago. I haven't really used it. It's not great. I think it's a test instrument on the bench, actually. It's alright. But it does. It covers the air band 188 to 138, FM 87.5 to 108, as you'd expect. The medium wave band 520 to 1720. Then it does shortwave 2.3 meg to 30 meg, fair enough. Then it does VHF low band continuously from 30 megahertz to 223 megahertz. And then it does as a CB band as well, which is 25 to 28 megahertz. So there's lots of frequencies. Yeah. Norman Dondi's just popped in as well. Good evening, Norman. What have you missed? Yeah, you haven't missed much. You needn't worry. All is well. Remember buying G8s from Tenor for 5 working TVs and 25. No art. We don't want art anyway. I know, Norman. JT has dodgy mains on the bench. Be grand. Be grand. Roundy Mooney says his next purchase will be an SDR. They seem impressive. Not something I've messed around with. But I featured a YouTube channel there a while ago from a chap in Finland called Artium Kostin something or other from Finland, who does DXTV. And apparently there's quite a bit of analog TV stuff left around on Band 1. In sort of, Russia and that. And he's picked up a couple of stations lately. He's well worth a look. But I don't know if TVDXers here, if it would be worth a while just having a fluter around with their gear. We also picked up Afghanistan recently and double skipped sporadic A. So impressive stuff. I would leave a link to his channel if I could, but I don't think I can. Was anyone here ever interested in DXTV as a matter of interest? I know there are one or two people who do tune in regularly who are into DXTV and even have DXTV in their as their names. Hugh TVDX and Wenlock TVDX. So yeah, interesting that there's still a little bit of activity on Band 1. Definitely. Rich Tips used to buy ex-rental TVs from radio rentals for a tenner. Most were easily repaired, were fairly decent jobs. Also, Ferguson and Panasonic VCRs with head fail or needing a service. Heads cost me a tenner. Far says we could get RTE here in Cornwall. Oh yeah. It's not 405, Rooney. I don't know when that's going to happen either. Sometimes I wonder if it's going to happen at all. The British Heritage Television Service is trying to set up a 405 line transmitter again. Far 64 could get the RTA in Cornwall on the skip. Yeah, get over there, right? Well, if you're lucky enough to be somewhere like the Isle of Man, on the right side of the Isle of Man, which would be the west coast of the Isle of Man, you could watch RTE to your heart's content. And you'd also have all the different regional stations too. French as well, yeah. Band 1 was a very interesting thing. Something I regret not getting more involved with at the time. I sort of missed it, but I did get a great capture of Russian television a few years ago. With just a dipole and had fabulous results. On that, says Roundy Mooney, I never thought I would be so sad about Clarkstown getting knocked, but I am, and there it is. Bit early to go down this rabbit hole, but I was enraged at the carry-on of RTA. Enraged. It's absolutely disgraceful. The carry-on of them. Unbelievable. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, it wasn't their transmitter to knock down. It wasn't their mast. It was our mast. Our tax money paid to put that fucking thing there in the first place. And that lovely video they made, were bloody proud of themselves too, aren't they? Gilts. Now we're looking at Radio 4 going down as well, and that's just not right either. There seems to be, it's fair enough turning these things off and that, and fair enough, but there seems to be an awful hurry to get rid of this stuff. Any sort of communication that's capable of crossing a border should be done away with. I'm sceptical. Will Radio 4 get a reprieve? They're saying March they're going to pull the plug. I don't know. I know there is a petition going on at the minute to save it on a few bits and pieces. We'll see. But I mean, if the BBC really want to get rid of it, they'll probably sabotage the fucking thing. Sad the way AM is going. Actually, maybe someone like you could replace them with that 20-watt transmitter you keep telling me you have. Michael Tranfield is in the chat. We were talking about you, Michael. Your ears were obviously burning. And one of the things we were saying was that you should open up your TV shop to other TV repairmen and enthusiasts as much the same way that heritage railways exist. I think many people would like to do guided tours through your shop and get tea and biscuits and stuff. And yeah, I think it could be a goer. right? So that's something for you to look into. Who here, hands up, who here would visit Michael Tranfield's shop given the opportunity? There's a Powell. There's a Powell. Oh, yes. Now, Roundy, they won't get this, but my couple of Irish viewers like yourself will. There's a Mr. D we can get on with. Mr. D being our president, Michael D. Oh, yeah, his name's Michael as well. There you go. Michael D. Mr. Michael D. Let's say I'll make it a poll so it's official though. You have to do these things right, you know. Yeah. Buggered up my keyboard, so I don't know where that is on it anymore, which isn't great. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where the question mark is gone on this. Set up our tweaks. Anyway, you will know what I mean. Starting poll. Big poll, big vote now. Vote early, vote often. I tried the new breakfast program on Radio Merseyside last week. Back to my USB stick. Kevin was not impressed with local Liverpool radio. The TV, anyway, the TV is a Morphy Acoustic Deluxe fitted with the Bush A640 chassis. A coach trip, I'm sure that could be arranged. Do amateur radio hams still do slow scan TV? I think they do. Although it probably has been replaced in the main now by the many, many digital modes available to amateur TVists. So I don't think that, yeah. Although I think it still happens. You'd hear funny whirring noises on 20 meters, alright. Which apparently can be demodulated with apps on your phone, although I've never had any luck. How many people have voted? Vote now. Vote now. If you voted. Have you voted? Push a button on the votey thing. 30 watching, but only 19 people voted. And Powell. One person apparently would not go to Michael Tranfield's gaff. Perhaps they're unable to. Yes. A lot of people want to go and visit your television workshop. Tell me, does anyone else suffer from this problem with YouTube? Right, so this new heart symbol in the bottom right-hand corner of the chat actually blocks out some of the comments that people say. Yes, you lose a word, which isn't great. Does that bother anyone else? We're back to seeing who was participating in the chat. Audio Wall, Kev B, Michael Dranfield, Richard 100, Brownie Mooney are participants of the chat. Kev B says yes. Can't see a heart. Maybe it's not set up on the device that you are operating. There is a heart which you can press, which also gives you a number of emoticons which will float up the chat like this. I don't know. Yes. Okay. But it may not be available on televisions or other devices. But it's on mobile and it's on the desktop versions. But they are in the way. Anyway, doesn't matter all that much. Far64 is enjoying the use of emoticons. I think this one is a fish that's saying something. This one is a shocked heart. And that looks like a sad squid. Try out Hexal, replying to Kev B. Had to look up that one. Went straight for Television Magazine article of 1989. Norman Donny informs us that he's on a Windows 11 laptop. Oh, that's strange. Well, maybe the emoticon isn't available for you. I don't know if you can see emoticons floating up the chat. Then when I push this button many times, perhaps not. Far64 got carried away with emoticons. It's quite alright. JJ Ferguson, ICC5. Yeah, we've seen a couple of those. Swiftly moving on. Perhaps there is some way to throw odds and odds a thumb, folks. The live always welcomes a lift. There you go. I like that. Roundy Mooney is going to get a promotion. 30 people watching with 22 thumbs up. 100. That'll be hitting that thing. That doesn't do anything. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up. Your ad blocker might be stopping them. You're not missing nothing special. Yeah, because I suppose it is a type of pop up. You're looking at all these interesting items I have that I don't have time to work on. Yeah, it's not simple. It's not simple. That Pi 697 22-inch Dynatron CTV 16 or 18 or whatever it was. I want to get back to that and tidy it up. Yep, the loom was all over the place and that's the one that was thrown into a skip and necked, which we luckily had a tube for. now. That's the sort of stuff we like to see here. Good, proper quality MK 60 amp isolation switch. That's the sort of thing you can relate to. New old stock. We like that. We do. Anyone want to see if this terrible little television works? For the crack. This horrid switch mode power supply might work. Will it work? Will it not? I'm quite surprised by that because it did sit outside in the rain for 6 months. This was sitting outside the shed for 6 months in the rain. It's not bad, is it? 6 months in the rain. I mean, the water poured out, but I picked it up. We'll put it over here. Don't make them like you used to, you know. I know. Oh, very good. I know. See if I have one of those phone auto doofer adapters at hand. Probably not. Because you never have the thing you want when you want it. Or something like that, anyway. I don't know why they have to use a phono connection for the aerial input. Right, try that. Oh yeah. I believe in magic, and I believe that I was born to rock and roll. Do. Oh. Let's see, what band are we on? We would want UHF today. There we go. That's not bad for something that sat out in the rain for 6 months, is it? Frame. There we go. Started off, wasn't all that interested in it, and then as it sat out in the rain for 6 months, I kind of felt sorry for it and brought it in and let it dry out. There you go. You never know, do you? Do 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 do. 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 Yeah. You always look better with a test card, I think. The gain is poor though. Gets nothing unless you're giving it the full beans. Not great. The quality is poor. The gain is shocking, actually. Should be a bit better than that. Wonder what she's like on band one. Let's for the crack now that we're at this. 05. Oh, good place to start. Very low. Yeah, plenty of gain down there. Oh yeah. Tons of gain on band one and none on UHF. Oh, that's a lot better. She's alright in band one. It'll do. I might keep that for an experiment I want to do. I shouldn't say any more though. There's naughty ideas to go through my head with television and band one and stuff. Back to the chat. Back to the cans. What's he drinking tonight anyway, you ask? He asks, he should be told, I'm drinking Radler lemon flavour, which is basically a lager shandy in a can. Right, 2.5%, which suits. I'm getting up early. But it's alright. It's not great. It's very cheap. Yeah. Quenches the thirst all the time. Now, let me get back into the chef because I've missed loads. I want you to get back to that too, says Rowney. This is discussing lack of time. Drive on, says he. Kev B says, I was in Wilco's today. I thought they were gone. Everything was cheap as they're closing down. I was right. Was going to stock up on some electric accessories until I looked at the quality. Quality was poor. Michael White has tuned in. Good evening. A bit late. Samsung phone and the Vestel Smart TV both playing up. The bastards. Nice to have you here, Michael. Fair inquires, does that chassis have a tripler or a valve, mate? Not seen one before. Not here in Cornwall. Oh, this thing. Oh, it's valve. Valve output. Overwind with a EY51. Triod Hexode says we'll have to catch up later. This stuff is good. Was that the last mono TVs around 2000? So yeah, they were. In fact, they were as cheap as a £5 at the very end. And they were giving them away free in places like Halfords and stuff like that. And for a £5, a lot of people just bought them to use the radio function. Rowney says, I love how inadequate and poor quality technology keeps going in spite of itself. Yeah. I couldn't tell you how many of them little tellies I threw in the bin. I did manage to get one to work on 405 once, but I wasn't very happy. Richard 100 gives me a load of hearts, and then Michael Dranfield says, taking out my contact lenses, I can see the TV now. Looks to be in flaming orange cabinet. Outrageous orange, I think it was, but yes, it is. But the cabinet is poor. The cabinet's very poor. And my enthusiasm is also not great. It could get pushed somewhere into a dark corner somewhere. But we'll see. No pain, low gain. Kev B, used my last holiday day off work to be home for Virgin to come and do an essential upgrade. They came out and changed the hub and plugged my landline into it. I've had mine. A liquid lunch turned into a liquid dinner. Back to the water. Oh, I knew there was something I'd forgotten. My run of Thatcher cider. DY87 says Michael. Of course, yeah, he's absolutely correct. EY51 would be incorrect for this television because that's a wire end of valve from far earlier. Unplug the hub, then complain that your landline doesn't work. Chipmunk is here. Yeah, and some of them have AV inputs on them. This one does not. But we have a few that do. Don't think I scrapped them all. I think I have a couple still around. Poor little fellow. 6 months out in the rain and he still works. Even if he has no gain on UHF. It's Monday tomorrow, says Chipmunk. Yeah, we're all aware. Someone's Monday isn't Monday. Oh yeah, I work every weekend. Unless I take it off, of course. They could be alright. I know of a chap who sometimes calls in a live stream now and again, who's intending to use several of these built into a larger cabinet. There was a television made by Nord Mendy, 26-inch colour TV, but it also had 3 mono TVs along the bottom. I think he's intending to rebuild one of those using these small ones. I'm quite impressed with the fact that that sat in the rain for 6 months and is working perfectly. Not bad, little test card at all. Not bad at all. Let's see if we can get a good look at it there. Turn off this light, you might. Turn off that light and then I adjust it. See, like that. No, I'm not going to talk to the camera. Maybe other stuff is too bright. I don't know if it was the only thing that was on. The only source of light. No, that makes it worse. Maybe if we had more light in the workshop. Oh yeah, now we can see it. Oh. Not bad at all, is it? Funny little TV. You can see, I find if you adjust it to look best on camera and not best to your eyes, that's a terrible test card. Back again. Cheap Kodak batteries, they are. Well, they're the only thing I have to hand at the minute. One thing I will say about the wireless microphone is it's quite hard on batteries. You get about 10 hours out with a set of alkalines. So you're far less out with zinc carbons in the pound shop. However, I think what I need to do is get a couple of high quality rechargeables and keep them for it. And just charge them up every time after a live stream, top them up, and it should be alright. Anyway, we're back in colour. So yeah, you got to check that sound carrier switch, alright. You know what I have to laugh at though? Jesus, you're a gas crowd too. Because I'm not looking at the screen or whatever, and for some reason you think if you write in capital letters, I'm going to hear you. Oh, brilliant. Huh? It's like when you're talking to a foreign person, if you shout at them, they'll understand what you're saying. Where is the train station? Anyway, as we say, we got there in the end. Oh. We will have to check that, alright, Chipmunk. Well, what I will do is I'll power it from the bench power supply and see what voltage it works down to. But I think it works down to around 0.9. Like, it really does flatten. It flattens the batteries properly. What's my next item for the bench? Inquires Roundy Mounty. All excited with a glint in his eye. Like Bambi. I don't know, I have a few things I want to put up on the bench, but I think we deserve a video on something interesting. So I recently bought a dual standard GEC mono set, which I was going to scrap for the line output transformer, but it's quite a nice telly actually, from the same house that I got the nice colour grunding from. So I think that might be the next one to go on the bench. We might leave that bush there and do a video on it, with regards to if we dry out the line output transformer. I might set up the bench power supply tonight before I leave the shed. Let it dry out for a day or two, and if I get half an hour, I'll put in a new line output valve and I'll wind her up on the Verdiac, and we'll see do we get any results. I'd imagine I might do, if the line output transformer is okay, I'd imagine I might do something. These usually do a bit of a trick. Very narrow frame. When they're woken up after a long time, all the resistors have gone to shit in them. All the caps are leaky. So you get wildly wrong line oscillator frequency and a very narrow frame. But I reckon she'll do something. She'll do something. Yeah, so we might try and power it up just to see what's happening. Let's see. Far 64-seater Normandy on a chrome stand, 26-inch remote with touch. Was touch with a mechanical countdown timer. Pure white. Could never get good purity. That happens, alright. Sometimes you get. I've had that with a Pi 697 that I changed the tube in. I could never get it to just converge 100%. The purity just never was right. But they said that. I read that somewhere. Sometimes on them Delta Gun tubes sets, you get a set of scan coils that just won't play with the tube. There's a little bit in them, you know, something. And sometimes they'd say, just try a different set of scan coils, and it might. Sometimes they just won't talk, which seems to be the case. But one of the things that people forget, though, is them Delta Gun colour sets, domestic ones now, leaving aside the early ones that were broadcast monitors, they were never 100%. You know, and people who never worked on old tellies before, you know, to pick up a TV from the 50s or something, say a mono set, never mind the colour, and they put the test card up on it, and they'll complain, oh, the circle is a little bit egg-shaped, you know, and I've done everything and I just can't. But that's the way they were. They were far from perfect. Far from perfect. And some of them were quite poor, really. I mean, like the Bear Townsman, and the line linearity is disgraceful on one of those. You know, an egg in its side and a proper egg shape test card on its side. But people didn't watch test cards. This is the thing. People didn't watch test cards. They watch television programs, and you don't notice it to the extent. And of course, then people back in the 40s and 50s were just glad to have something with a picture on it. It didn't matter. And some of the TVs that came into the shop over the years that had been working, you know, flat tubes or something that had come in for repair, and we'd one all there. I remember this really well, like it was yesterday. And the set came in for frame collapse, right? White line across the screen. So that was fair enough. Can't remember what it was. I think it was a Philips. What model, I don't know. It might have been a G90 or, you know, some mid-90s set or early 90s set that came in, and would have been 2009 or 10, you know. It was clapped out fucking thing. But anyway, whatever we did, we sorted out the frame collapse anyway. And it was only then that we realised there was no blue. Everything was sepia. There was no blue. I thought, oh, this is video fault on this, you know. Sure enough, video transistor, the output transistor was gone. That was replaced. And sent back to the old there, right? Old there clean. She rang up and said, something wrong with me set. It's all funny colours. Well, so I went up to her house and had a look at it, and perfect, lovely picture. And no, there's something wrong with this television. It used to have a beautiful sepia look to it, and I don't know what's gone wrong with it. She would not accept. She must have been watching the television with no blue for years. So it's amazing what some people put up with, but that's what you were dealing with. So yeah, televisions were far from perfect, and they weren't broadcast monitors. Did you fix it for her? Well, I didn't want to, and explained to her that, you know, there was a problem with your television. And if you not noticed how everyone else's television looks like that television, she said she'd be much happier if I put it back the way it was. So I did. I got a little bit of solder bread, and I think I undid the base and the output transistor, and stuck a little note on the back of the set. Of course, television was about 18 or 20 years old at this stage anyway. It was a bit chewy anyway. I don't know, that poor old dear is long gone now anyway. But yeah, I'm sure it went in the skip. But yeah, we used to see some weird shit. There was another one. I'll never forget this one. John sent me one day. He rang me up. He says, I've a Nixer for you if you're interested. I says, all right, what is it? I went up to the shop, and he gave me a piece of paper and an address on it, a frame output chip, right? And it was for a Sony. It could have been a 36-inch, 16 by 9. one of the, I wouldn't say it was one of the last ones they did, but you know, it would have been late 90s, early 2000s CRT set. So anyway, I went down to your man's house because the set was too heavy, and he was in an apartment. Actually, he wasn't in a house; he was in an apartment up one of these horrible Irish apartments that they built in the Boom with, you know, stairs up to the front door. Totally impractical. Anyway, cycled down to his house, armed with my soldering iron. Went in, seen there's a television in the corner. Okay, turned it up and got the back off and took the old chip out, and I put the new one in. And I switched on, and the Sony or the Skybox menu was up. Oh, Jesus Christ. You want to see the state of the linearity, frame linearity on the set. There was obviously something else wrong. I don't know what. But I remember the bastard of a job I had to get the chip into it. I remember looking at it going, it's not right. Your man come in and he says, Jesus, that's a great picture of that, yeah. I says, yeah, no bother, fix up with the man down in the shop. And I got on me bike and I got the fuck out of there. But it was in flitters. But your man was quite happy with it. Unreal. Yeah. Oh, chip, that's when you watch. That's still the case when you watch legacy content. Oh, unreal. Yeah, your man was delighted with these crap Sony TV. Oh, with the frame chip. That was a bastard. Remember that. True, people put up with 16 to 9, squished into their 4-3 for ages in the 90s. Not only that, I remember someone getting a 16 to 9 set before 16 to 9 was a thing, and it was all stretched out. Does anyone remember that? That was here in Ireland. Maybe the UK went 16 to 9 before us, but remember, yeah, Bush. So it would have been what do you call it? Vestal chassis. And I can remember your man being real proud of this. It was a 28-inch, you know. I think it was like extra wide. It was just a stupid looking article of a thing. And I remember the picture was all stretched out. And your man was delighted with this. It looked fucking brutal. But they were of you know, one of those gaffs with the way you wipe your feet on the way out, you know, with the chip fryer in the kitchen. Deep fat fried. What are we having deep fat fried today, kids? Yeah. But yeah, your man was delighted with his stretched out picture. Crap. Around you. Yep, fat people got even fatter. Roundy remembers that, yeah. Now they're all squished and tall. But yeah, they were for a few years in the 90s. Stretched out. Where the floor sticks to your boots. Yeah, that's the kind of... See, you know the kind of situation I'm talking about here, you know? Your man's gone down, as they'd say in the UK, your man's gone down to Curry's where he's joiled up. Well, it was similar situation, you know? Bag of Dutch Gold and he's super stretched. No, I'll tell you what the drink was then. It was before Dutch Gold. There was a lager made by a company called Euro Shopper, which was a known brand in Super Queen. It was a long defunct supermarket chain in Ireland. Euro Shopper lager. That's what he was drinking. You were proper quality back in the 90s if you were drinking Euro Shopper lager. Do you remember that Roundy Euro shopper lager? Anyway, that's what he was drinking, and he was delighted watching the football. This stretched out egg going across the screen. Oh, brutal. Oh, Jesus Christ, Kev B. Yeah, there's some houses, and you know it's a thing if you're in the TV trade or you're an electrician or a plumber, you know, you get access to these places. You get to go into a lot of interesting places, but there's some places you'd rather not have to go into. Round people became oval, they sure did. No, the 90s was an interesting time to be around, alright. You're watching the start of all this going down the pan, but it was certainly entertaining. It was only when I got back to the office they said I could refuse jobs. We'll stream you on the antique 20-year-old 50-inch plasma. Well, you won't be cold then. Shit, oh, Christ almighty, chipmunk. You see, normal people in their day-to-day lives don't believe you when you try to tell them, like, some of the places that you go into. Like, I don't know, like, Mrs. Odgenodge sometimes would say, you know, the house is dirty or whatever. There'd be a little bit of dust on the windowsill or something. You'd be sort of like, the house isn't dirty. I've seen dirty houses. This house is not dirty. There's some really dirty houses out there, and I've been in them. I feel with them anyway. Oh, unbelievable. Oh yeah, ground the out plants are right. A lot of that going on. Who have we got participating at the minute? With Far 64, Kev B, Richard 100, Roundy Mooney, The Chipmunk, and White Sapphire. Norman Don. Yeah, you get used to it, Ari. Lawrence Bushby, we had a special pair, of course, that when we picked up the rentals, we could cut the mains lead off and blow the fuse as it was covered in shit. Yes, bad feeling people with big heads. Yeah. Oh, that bloody Sony. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, Harley. Wipe your feet on the way out. Yeah, there was plenty of houses like that around, definitely. And there still is. Oh, I think some people are living it shocking. Get B says, worst was when with Telewest, we would do a promo offer, so you would do loads of installs in some really scummy places now, and full well, even the first month's bill wouldn't be paid. Yeah, yeah, not all business is good business. That's for sure. We're an hour and 34 minutes into the live stream, which is good going. Definitely. I wonder will Roundy Mooney get back to us now. He's gone upstairs to crank up his 20-year-old plasma set to watch me on, which is interesting. So it'll be interesting to see. The one night he goes up to watch me on, he said it'll probably blow up. Chipmunk forgot to like the video. I wouldn't mind it. All I had to do was say Roundy Mooney, and you went, oh yeah, push the button thing. I need a new chair for my shed. It's just about to give out. Good man, Chipmunk. Roundy with the spanner will be back shortly. He is switching around televisions. There's an interesting question now. I'm not going to bother doing a poll. It's getting a bit late for that. But is anyone watching me on a vintage television? Some people do, I know. I wonder, is anyone watching me on a vintage television tonight? He most likely is, alright. Does 2016 count as a vintage television? Well, it's probably doing well if it's an LCD from CCFL backlighting. Yeah, I'd say that counts, Chipmunk, alright. Yeah. On an ancient smartphone. How ancient, White Sapphire? How ancient is ancient? I powered up an ancient Samsung there recently and refused to do business with the internet. It's got a rotary dial. I heard it does as a magneto winding in it. Yorkshire is probably modern enough though up there. Indeed. Oh, I'll just sit up for a minute. Oh. I'm tired of all that sitting around, you know. Those little televisions are brutal, aren't they? There's more gain in the end of me thumb. Mern 1 is a flat screen CRT monitor from 2004 count, Samsung. Yeah, I'd say 20-year-old monitor. We'll just call it 20-year-old now because it's near enough. Would count as vintage. There's a good 04 set there coming round the corner. Good man, Roundy Mooney. Yeah, the old plasmas they were good old sets, are they? Of course, a dead technology now. You'll never see a plasma TV again. They were good. They were really good. Remember the real early ones? The Philips that had the separate media box, the big huge umbilical cord going into the back of it. Anyone remember them? Would have been around 2002, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They were good sets. Nice picture on those. There was a lot of shit in the back of them. It was a clever tech, yeah. And on to like LCD, the proper blacks, not greys. Music hailstone. Watching on a 2009 Toshiba LCD tonight, but have in the past had YouTube running through my Ferguson TV TX. Oh yeah. Got the box off a Sharp panel somewhere at work. Yeah. Remember them Philips ones, alright? They were good sets, if heavy. Remember John getting a couple of them in for repair, alright? My Christ, there was some amount of engineering that went into them, and heavy, and the amount of steel work that went into them. You look at these flat panel TVs now, just forget about it. Walk away. It's finished. I wouldn't be bothered. Even trying. I think Michael Dranfield's a madman for even attempting to get involved with this. Kilter Brackley is watching me on a 21-inch Liyama flat screen from the early 2000s. Very expensive when new, but bought several second-hand about 10 to 15 years ago. Vestal TVs with bad loading east-west coils. Oh yeah, we took apart a few of them chipmunk, alright. The who was it was making the there was loads of them around. Was it Samsung? Samsung did them. Remember we used to they were quite common, quite a few of them come into the TV shop with various issues. Yeah. I think there were Samsung's rear projection sets. Excuse me. They had the 3 little CRTs in them. Well, not little, they were probably 9-inch CRTs. A mad EHT too. Didn't have a really high EHT, Michael. Like 33 kV or something. The STK convergence chip used to go faulty. That's right, I remember that. Because I can remember setting up the convergence on them after replacing them. But of course, it was all dynamic convergence and active convergence. Like, you didn't have that interactive nonsense. It was all through a remote control. You could get them quite nice. Oh, yeah. The rear projection sets, they were bloody big. I seen one, I say recently, not that recently, but in the last 3 or 4 years. And it was one of the early Mitsubishis. But it was huge. I'm sure Michael might remember these. About this tall, about this wide, probably 36-inch screen. But about 5 or 6 foot off the ground. 3 or 4 foot deep, like a big box, like a TARDIS, basically. And I was kind of tempted looking at it to take, and I went, no, leave that fucking thing where it is, because it wouldn't have anywhere to put it. Too big. But yeah, you don't see too many of them rear projection jobs. One of them that I would have loved to have seen a picture on, but never did. We got in for a repair once. A low wee, and it was huge. I think it was a 60-inch rear projection set. And it was one of the ones that had the lamp and then like a little LCD screen, a mono screen, and then a little colour wheel. Michael Dranfield or anyone remember this setup? a little colour wheel while they went around it, like the CBS sequential system, one of the original suggestions for colour television in the States. Sequential colour wheel, that went through a load of optic nonsense up onto this 60-inch screen. It was giant. Anyway, that came in for repair, which we quickly diagnosed to be a blown projection lamp. But a replacement lamp was, I don't know, €300 or €400 or something. So anyway, the customer didn't go ahead. Even though the set, when it was new, I think he said he paid 12 grand for it. It was madness. But I would have liked to have seen that working. But sadly, in the end, that television was broke up. The customer didn't go for it. So it was scrapped. But it was an impressive bit of kit. It's now just a white blob. So it is. So it is. Ray Bourne, it's here. How are you, Ray? Yeah. You see, it's not the television's fault. It's the it's just the light around it. It'll have to do. Pink. The contrast. Anyway. Lawrence Bushby says DLP. Eldo 4 projectors, anyone? Good to have you here, Ray. Be forewarned, I'm gonna pull the plug around 10 o'clock. Early start tomorrow. You adjusted the generator and then it became too bright because it turned the gain down on the generator, which adversely affected the contrast on the shed. Because its AGC isn't worth it. Isn't very good. By the way, what pattern generator do you use? I use a Philips PM 5415. But that is being fed with a test card DVD. So it's only the PM 5415 is only being used as a modulator at the moment. It's been fed with a test card with a selection of DVD or DVD with a selection of test cards on it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Good stuff. You George with you. Hope he's keeping well too. So Brackley remembers the projectors that were rented from Philips for one of the elections in the 70s. Yeah. They never go quiet. They might go to black level or like, but they never go quiet. My focus is all out. I've noticed that. Oh, focus. There we go. I must have locked the focus or something. Inadvertently waving my hands around. No bother on him. Of course there isn't. Andy Doswell's here. Stop the phone, everyone. Andy Doswell's in the chat. Behave yourselves now. Mr. Doswell's a bit of an expert on these things. Yes. Has anyone watched any interesting YouTube channels as of late? Of course, excluding your own hero. Here. Was recorded even made in by a private individual in a small production once. Not that I'm aware of, but someone else might be able to. Maybe I think there was a Reynolds colour television, alright, but I don't think it was put together here. I don't think it was manufactured from scratch here. Anyone else know different? Usagi Electric a lot lately. Excellent YouTube vid by The Proper People about a water pump steam engine. Could watch that, alright. There's a few interesting channels that I watch. Very good, right so far. Kev B says channel is Mr. James G. Watt. Yes. Moving on from, has anyone, I brought this up before, I think, but has anyone watched any more of the Retro Electro Workshop? The steam engine stuff is interesting, alright. GC made colour television in Dundalk in the early days of colour here. Yeah. Yes. Yes, the Retro Electro Workshop. Does anyone watch who else is it? Men at Mark? I haven't actually watched any of his videos. Though I'm told he's very good. Kev B has not watched. Oh yeah, Chipmunk. I seen him way out west, alright. I've seen one or two of his videos. Like he made this big giant wheel. For some reason. And he has some sort of, I think it's a big peddler engine or something. Stationary engine, and he has a saw, and then he made a little tiny mini railway out of, I don't know what, a little wooden train. Then he made some sort of a wooden bicycle or something. I watched bits and pieces. Norfolk Man Cave with his vintage engines. Think I've seen a little bit of him. Whitehopper says the Zach life. Young lad in Texas trying to make a living from old oil wells. Sounds good. Lawrence Bushby says Men at Mark very good. Roundy Mooney also agrees. Very good. Oh, good man, Kev B. Interesting, alright. Try to fix this stuff. Mars and such like sounds good. Mark had a house fire. Oh, there. He's a good egg, as they say. Good man. Used to watch Musty One, but he makes epic documentary films. Lol, never seen a video of his under an hour. Oh dear. That's one thing you don't want is a house fire anyway. Fuck that. Small engine mechanic fixing big generators. A fire would not be good. It's one of my fears, alright. Nobody wanted it. They are a bit odd, alright, especially at that time when people were used to a nice wooden box, tea cabinet, or whatever. I've seen some Techman videos, alright, quite interesting. He certainly does know how to dig out some obscure stuff. Don't think he's as active as he used to be, though. Cat-shaped thermal printer. Dear oh dear. Dawes's television workshop is always worth a look. Yes, definitely agree. I find it quite unusual that Mr. Doswell has so few subscribers. Probably all moaned out. He could be, Ray. $100 and 925 this evening. Going to have a party when you get to 1,000. That's what that should read. When. Bob Anderson on those American TVs. I keep forgetting your man's name. The chap with the weird puppets. What's his name? The American fella that does the radio repair. But he has this weird puppet. Quite frightening, really. Here to Honor is in the chat too. Good evening, sir. He's very skilled. Bob Anderson, yes. Who is the chap around you with the weird puppets? Do you know who I'm talking about? It's not a puppet, it's like a ventriloquist doll or something. Absolutely terrifying. Yes, quite frightening indeed. Very frightening. Yeah, the lad with the puppets annoyed me. He ditched that channel early on. Yeah. Yeah, it was very scary. There's something we could ask people to do, Roundy Mooney. We could ask everyone here to subscribe to Doz's television workshop. I think that's the least they could do. Glasslinger is quite interesting, alright. The guy with the voice. Well, that's There's another one where your man doesn't actually make a video, but he shows you like a million photographs, talks over them. Yeah, unwatchable. All right. I'm pretty bad now myself, but Jesus, they're not good now. Oh, there. I think they come from the 90s internet. Is where they get that from. Yeah, they're not liking their own voice. Yeah, but it makes it difficult to watch. Well done, Roundy. I couldn't have put it better myself. Yes. Well, my voice is far from trained or perfect. Man, that's why horrors is worth a look. If you're interested in why ships get into trouble. Good man, Andy. And don't forget to send money to odgenodge at odgenodge.com. Chipmunk says, whatever, I might give that one a go. I watch Casual Navigation. Oh, there's one I watch. What's this his name is now? Interesting YouTube channel. That's going to annoy me now. I'm going to have to look it up on my phone. Oh, your mind goes blank. A feature-length series on a Commodore 64. There. Let's see now. Here's what I'll do. I'll go through some of the things I'm subscribed to, and you can tell me if crap or good. Plainly Difficult is the YouTube channel. Has anyone watched Plainly Difficult? Does a lot of stuff on nuclear accidents and medical stuff, and accidents and things that have gone wrong and stuff. Very interesting. Nope. Yeah. Plainly Difficult. And they're all short videos. He does them about 10 minutes long. They're very well edited, in fairness to him. And he's grown quite sharply. I only discovered him maybe last year, and he only had maybe 20 or 30,000 subscribers. And he's got a good couple of 100,000 now. For more Kodak batteries, thanks very much, Chipmunk. It's not gone again, is it? Oh, no. Oh, right. Yeah. Right. So let me see. Who have been watching lately? Matt's TV Barn, which is quite interesting. He does a lot of stuff on test card generators and stuff like that. He rebuilt a test card generator, a Philips one, from scratch, which was no small feat at all. Absolutely incredible. Ringray Manchester, yeah, I've seen him. I have him in here, actually. He's 5th on the list. Does anyone watch or has ever watched amateur radio, VK3YE? That's Peter Parker down in Australia, who does QRP, amateur radio stuff. Very small, simple circuits that he gets on air with. Well worth a watch. Just rolled in. I watch him too. They're funny little shorts, yeah. Spider-Man, I don't know what that is. S'mores is good. Haven't heard of them either. Let me see how else we've got here. Oh, always good for a laugh and quite educational too would be vintage electronics repair with our friend and sometimes joiner in the live stream, Andy. Wonderful, funny stuff. How many people here watch Radio Cruncher? He does a live stream most Sundays. Robert Murray Smith. I was quite impressed with some of the stuff that he does. Quite interesting. Who else? Oh, look, Andy Doswell's in there. Oof. Oh, very good. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Yeah. Let's see. This is a hard one to pronounce. Artem Kositsyn, 83. Does some simple circuit stuff. Can be quite interesting. Off topic stuff, blah blah blah. We've George Christophe in there, which is quite good. Poor old George is still getting over the old workshop burning to the ground on him. But he'll get back. That's about that. Of course, Michael Dranfield's in there. Yeah. A lot of people not putting up many videos at the minute, though, and I think a lot of people haven't got the time. Andy Doswell just banged me £4. Oh my god. That's all right, Andy. We'll be sure to. What I'll do is I'll put a. You're supposed to give me that in a brown envelope. Actually, you're not supposed to make that public, but we'll put a link to your channel in a something or other. Yeah. No, thanks, Andy. Fair play. Very much appreciated. Everyone's being very generous tonight. Thank you all very much. It means a lot, and it helps me actually quite a bit. Boy, Fix It is interesting. I haven't heard of that. I'll look that one up. If you like old computer stuff, Usagi Electric is excellent. Old mini computers and stuff from the 50s to 70s. Diode Gone Wild. Yeah, watch some of their stuff, alright. He's building a new 1-bit computer from Valve. Look, ma'am, no hands, was it? No, that's not right. It's look, ma'am, no computer. Mad young fella. Jumps around a lot. I've seen a couple of his videos and stuff, alright, but I haven't seen him in a while. I'm sure he's still there. Look, mum, no computer. Something like that. Yes. Interesting. Last video I seen, he bought a church organ out of someone's gaff and he was going to rebuild it. Don't know if he did or not. Stick it in the partner account. Bit of an old RTE reference there. Yes. I'm going to buy a pair of flip-flops. Now he's got an air raid siren. Oh dear. Super bike racer. Huh. Right, lads, I said I was cutting off at 10 o'clock due to an early start in the morning, and we have run over, and we've crashed the pips, and we've knocked the weather off. So there's going to be war. No national anthem tonight. No sailing boy. No roundup of the week. No shipping forecast. So really, must say good night and God bless and take care. And thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been another excellent live stream. Thank you all very much. We'll keep it up. Hopefully next Sunday we'll bring more interesting topics. I shall have to think of something to talk about, an actual topic of conversation. And if time permits during the week, which it probably won't, but if it does, we might try to power this mess up that you see on the bench before you. Hopefully. No after party tonight. Only sleep. Head on pillow. All right, lads. Thank you very much. Good night and take care.